Team USA catcher Kyle Higashioka, who, funny enough, is the longest tenured Yankee in the Yankees organization, drafted by the Yankees in the seventh round of the 2008 MLB draft out of high school. Higgy has been with the Yankees for 15 years, and he's
Holy-
been the backup catcher for just about the last since 2018. I'll give him. I mean, he was even the third string from 2018 to 2019.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel about Higgy this year, our backup catcher, and his role mixing up with Trevino and with the staff?
I think we both looked at each other early on when Ben Rortvedt was still healthy. And we said, wow, this is a bold move of him to go to USA, just work on the WBC, just because there is now apparently this young, healthy Studley defensive first catcher who's a lefty that could potentially have some pop coming up, who's for the first time able to wear a Yankees like uniform on the field, show his face. First place while this kid was up and coming. I think was a bold strategy just because he didn't know like that automatically gives a new catcher more looks and more reps. And not only was it Ben Rortvedt, but you also have Austin Wells, who was really aching to get some starting reps at catcher and come up this season. His bat is ready. We've always known that. Austin Wells was pretty much set to hit the roster at some point or another this season. As a catcher, we don't really know that, but he's dead set on it. So I thought it was going to be a very interesting spring training for that. And then within a week, both Rortvedt and Austin Wells go down with their own respective injuries. And it already felt just at that point like it was fate that Higgy was once again going to man the backup position and not get traded or not have any other situation that arises where he's not on the Yankees. But here he is. I like Higgy a lot. He's a solid defensive catcher. He's one of the better ones, especially backups. I would have been very concerned if he was our starting catcher. The same way I would have been last season. I just don't think he can sustain playing 140 games a season. But he's a lot better off when he is getting his rest every 3 or 4 days and then able to relieve Trevi. So I mean, hopefully he doesn't have the same issue he had last offseason or last season, just entering March and April, where he popped a ton of home runs in spring training. He didn't get to do that this year, but he popped a ton of home runs, and then it took him a whole 6 weeks, 8 weeks to hit his first one out, if that. It might have been more. Um,
I think that's why he went to the WBC.
he was like,
He
"Let me
knew he
just,
would not get any at bats,
yeah,
so he has to save his homers.
save the guns,
So he's
man,
gonna hit 12 homers in April.
save the bullets." I think that honestly, it might be a
Yeah.
solid strategy, and I don't know if he got too much in his head last year, but like he hit 7 in the entire spring training, or 10, was it? Something crazy. Um, I don't know. I think that he's just a solid, reliable backup catcher that has already a great rapport with all the pitchers and now catchers in that system. So he's gonna do his Higgy things. If he hits 10 bombs and plays 80 games, 90 games, and has like a 700-ish OPS, if that, and just continues to play solid defense, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, he grades out well above average defensively, not nearly as good as Trevi. I won't say a bad thing about Higgy. I think you covered everything that he's going to be. He's going to hit 12 homers. He's going to have like a 680 OPS. He's going to strike out for a month and a half and not get on base. And then he's going to hit 8 of his home runs in 2 weeks. And it's going to be great. He'll be pretty solid enough defensively. If you love Higgy like I do, go to some weekday day games, go to some Sunday day games, any day after night. Get to see him at work. So that is Kyle Higashioka, and I think that's just about everything with our backup catching situation. I mean, pretty much everyone else is injured right now or not near debuting. Maybe Josh Bro is an option in the minor leagues, but right now we're rolling with IKF as our third string catcher.
Are we big Anthony Siegler guys?
I mean, maybe. I don't see the function for him here. I mean, if we're talking like a Higgy or Trevino injury, I could see him on the roster because I don't think we're rolling with IKF as our backup catcher, or maybe we do, which that would be a fun time. Yeah. Does Higgy, interesting, does Higgy or Trevino going down mean that Volpe is the first call up because IKF
Oh,
becomes the backup catcher?
I mean, considering Volpe will already be on the opening day roster, I don't know how that would work.
Oh,
Hot
that is a
take.
preview for our next positional preview, but I think for now, uh, that's all good for our starting pitchers and our catchers position profile and preview.